Good evening, students. Now we are going to deal with again chapter number 10, light, or class 10, refraction of light, second part, that is spherical lenses and numericals. Earlier in part 1 we have discussed about refraction, refractive index, optical density, etc., and numericals related to them. Now we will discuss about spherical lenses through which refraction also occurs. Now spherical lens is a transparent medium bounded by two surfaces like this. One is this surface and another is this surface. So if it is bounded by any transparent medium with two surfaces and both of which are curved, okay, that is called as a spherical lens. For example, if you look here, these are spherical lenses. This is a concave lens which is thicker at the corners whereas very thin in the center. It is represented like this, that is biconcave lens, thinner in the center but thicker at the corners. Whereas this one, which looks like thinner at the corner whereas it is thicker at in the center, is a biconvex lens. Okay, so this is biconvex lens. We are going to deal with these two type of lenses. Other lenses are also available like plano-convex lens where one surface is plane, another is curved. Plano-concave lens is there, or meniscus type where both the surfaces are curved in outward. So these are various types of lenses which are shown. Okay, they are with curved surfaces, but we are going to deal with the concave lens as well as a convex lens. One thing very important about the concave lens is that it is diverging in nature. It spread the rays, it diverged the rays. Whatsoever rays are falling on it, it will spread the rays. Whereas the convex lens, it will always converge the rays, that is, it is going to meet all the rays at various places. Okay, that's why uses are there, various uses. Both of them have their own uses, right? Let us see what is difference between convex lens and concave lens. Convex lens, they are thinner at the corners, whereas concave lens, they are thick from corner. Convex lens, they are thick at the center, whereas concave lens, they are thin at the center. They are converging in nature, they are diverging in nature. I hope you know about diverging and converging nature, that I will discuss in the next diagram also. Let us see uses of convex lens and concave lens. Now because of this divergence and convergence property, it has various uses. Convex lens, which have converging properties, that is to meet the rays, that is why it is used as a magnifying glass where the rays are concentrated at one place, or sometime magnify, it also magnify the object or letters which are placed just below it, that is why it is used as a magnifying glass. Convex lenses are also used as in microscope, whereas concave lenses, they are used in the spy hole in the door where you look at the person who is standing outside your house. Image is small, sharp as well as erect and virtual. Okay, it is also used in the flashlight to see the long distances because light will move parallel out of it. So these are uses of concave lens and convex lenses. Now let us see some important terms related to the spherical lenses. Now look at it, this is a biconvex lens and this is a biconcave lens, gray color, biconcave lens and biconvex lens. This biconvex lens is always formed when there is an intersection of the two spheres. These are the two spheres or spherical balls which cut each other at one point. Okay, that is why when they cut each other, the inner and outer surface will form the convex lens. Okay, now when we find the center of it, this is called as optical center, and the line passing through the optical center and it join the center of curvature of both the radii of both the these spheres, that is known as principal axis. So what lies on the principal axis is the center of curvature of one sphere, center of curvature of second sphere, optical center is there, then radius of curvature is there, right? And these are the terms which are related on the principal axis. Now if you see here, there are two center of curvature as compared to that on the spherical mirror which had only one center of curvature, but lenses have two center of curvature. Reason is because it is formed by intersection of two spheres. That is why it is important that center of curvature, two center of curvature should be there. One is on the left hand side of the mirror, this lens, and another is on the right hand side of the lens, right? And if you look here, in case of a concave lens which was thicker at the corner, now if we see here, this is formed when we consider edges of the two lenses together. When we take edges of the two lenses, they don't intersect, but we take edges of the two lenses, we also find that concave lens is formed. This is an optical center of the concave lens through which a line, arbitrary line or imaginary line passes through it, which join two center of curvature C1 and C2. These are center of curvature of the two spheres of which this is a part. Right, so this principal axis contains center of curvature, a radius of curvature, which is a line from the C1 to the O, or it is an optical center in the center of it. So these are the important point, that is center of curvature, radius of curvature, and optical center, which lie on the imaginary line, that is principal axis. Again, two center of curvature and two radius of curvature are there. But of course, one thing to be known is that R1 is always equal to R2. In a particular lens, R1 is always equal to R2. Now let us see a magnified picture of it. This is a biconvex lens through which this is center, that is optical center, through which the principal axis is passed. Now this is C1, that is center of curvature of one lens, and this is center of curvature of the second lens, C2. Half of it, this surface is a radius of curvature, and half of the radius of curvature is focus, right? That is why the focus, which is lying on the left hand side, is written as F1, and center of curvature is written, instead of writing as C1, we are writing as 2F1, because it is double that of the focus. And if on the left hand side there is one focus F1, which is a principal focus on the left hand side, right, and 2F1 is the double the distance that of the principal focus, whereas on the right hand side to that of the optical center is the F2 and 2F2. This F2 is a second focus of it, which is on the right hand side, okay, and 2F2 is double the distance that of it. Instead of writing it as R, we are writing as 2F2. So now important terms which are lying on the principal axis are optical center, principal focus 1, and then 2F1, that is center of curvature, principal focus 2, and 2F2. Okay, so these are the important terms regarding it. Now let us see what about it. Center of curvature, center of sphere of part of which a lens is formed is a center of curvature of the lens. Since concave and convex lenses are formed by combination of two parts of spheres, therefore they have two centers of curvature. One center of curvature is usually denoted by C1 and the second by C2. Next important term is focus, point at which parallel rays of light converge in a concave lens and parallel rays of light diverge at the point of focus of the lens is known as focus, right? If you look here, this is a convex lens, parallel rays of light are coming to that of the principal axis. After striking this surface, they will always converge at one point, that is F2, focus 2. They will meet at focus 2. This means all the ray diagrams or all the images which will be formed in case of convex lens will be on the right hand side, and its principal focus is not at all F1, it is F2. Okay, so important term is F2 is a principal focus for convex lens where all the rays converge. Another important thing I would like to give it a more importance is that when the rays of light, they are coming parallel to each other, you should strike these rays in the center, right, not at the corner of the lens. Do not converge them at the focus, always converge them when you take all of them in the center, that is in line of the O, that is optical center. When you take them, only then converge them. Similarly, in case of a concave lens, This is optical center. Draw a line passing through the optical center. The rays which are coming parallel to the principal axis, they should go up to that particular line, like this. They should go up to that line, then converge the rays apart. You will find that since it's a diverging lens, f2 is never a principal focus of it, because rays won't meet at this point. The rays will meet at f1, that is principal focus for the concave lens is always f1. So important terms are focus for the convex lens is f2, whereas focus for the concave lens is f1 because of its nature. Similar to center of curvature, concave and convex lenses have two foci represented by f1 and f2. Principal axis, imaginary line which passes through the center of curvature of the lens is principal axis, and principal axis. Next is optical center. The central point of lens is optic center. Rays passes through the optical center, they move without any deviation. So always keep in mind that rays, if they are passing through O, optical center, whether they are passing obliquely like this or down to up or up to down, then there is no deviation at all, that they will pass without any deviation through the optical center, whether you take a concave lens or convex lens. Next is radius of curvature, the distance between optical center and center of curvature. Optical center and center of curvature, that is 2f1, is known as radius of curvature and is generally denoted by r. Next one is focal length, the distance between the optical center and principal focus. Distance between optical center and principal focus is known as focal length. Focal length is half the radius of curvature, students. Now this is the distance between O and f1 or O and f2. Anyway, if you want to take it like this, this will be correct, and OF1 is also the focal length. Now here 2f is equal to r, or f is equal to r upon 2. That is why we take f, consider f not r. This is the cause that the center of curvature is generally denoted by 2f for a lens instead of 2, because 2f is equal to r. That is why we are considering 2f1 and 2f2 instead of writing c here. Okay, that is a logic lying behind it. So these are the conventions for them. Next is convex lens. Now this biconvex lens, when the rays, students, they are passing through the convex lens, they follow some rules. Instead of taking cluster of these rays, we consider only one ray or the two rays, so as to make up the clarity for the ray diagram. First is that the ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis of a convex lens always pass through the focus on the other side of the lens. So you will take a parallel ray with an arrow on its surface, right, while it moves to in the center. Now look here, I have drawn a line here, and after that I have shown refraction. So now it will be refracted and will pass to f2, and arrow is also shown here. Okay, this is first thing, that parallel rays which are coming to the principal axis, they will always concentrated at f2. Second is a ray of light passing through the principal focus will emerge parallel to the principal axis after refraction. So those rays which are passing through the focus, obliquely through the focus, after striking the surface in the middle of the convex lens, they will move parallel to the principal axis, and you need to show the arrow. I hope it is clear. So parallel rays, very simple, will pass through the focus f2, and which are passing through the f1, rays which are passing through f1, not through f2, because this side is for the image formation. This is the portion from where rays of light are coming from the object. So if the ray of light is coming from the object, that will always pass through f1 and will pass through here and strike the surface and will go parallel to the surface on the right hand side. Third is that a ray of light passing through the optical center will emerge without any deviation. So when you show a ray of light passing through optical center, there is no deviation at all. So we will use these three criterias only, and we'll make diagrams. Let us see ray diagrams, and you know, these are very simple as compared to that of spherical mirrors. Now when the ray of light is coming, first you know that we have various points, as we have already discussed. First is that ray of light is coming from infinity, second is beyond 2f, third position will be 2f1, fourth will be between f1 and 2f1, fifth will be at f1, and sixth is when we place object between o and f1. These are the 6 positions we will use for the converging lens, that is convex lens. Now when the object is at infinity, all rays which are coming parallel to the from the infinity, they will move up to the center of the lens and will be converged at one point, that is f2. Don't forget to maintain this distance, or OF1 should be equal to OF2. Okay, and then this distance also should be the same. Okay, this should be same. So before starting any ray diagram, always make a lens with the help of a compass. Then O should be mentioned, put a line and then the center dotted line, and then a principal axis, and then calculate all the distances which should be equal. Only after that you should move these rays. So parallel rays, they will converge at one point, that is f2. Now look at it, as we have seen that rays are coming from the sun, which is at infinity. They are coming from sun, and this small sun is seen at the focus, that is f2. After passing through the convex lens, a small sun is seen here, and the rays are concentrated here. Students, these are so dense, these rays are so dense that they can burn even a sheet of paper. If you are focusing it on a paper, after half an hour you will see that that particular part of the sheet will be burnt out. Okay, so this is the first one. Second is beyond 2f. When we place object at beyond 2f1, so we have again taken all the important parameters, maintain the distances, and place this object, that is AB, beyond 2f1. Now one ray is coming parallel. We have selected one ray which is coming parallel to the principal axis. After going in the center, this will pass through f2, right, and we'll show arrow, of course. Second ray is passing through the optical center, straight through the optical center. They'll cut at one point and will meet at one surface, that is between f2 and 2f2, and the image formed will be real, inverted, as well as smaller in size as compared to that of the object. Okay, now look at this diagram where I have placed an object candle. On the left hand side, this is a convex lens placed, and this is a place where the image will be formed, will be obtained. Now look at the image, size of the candle, that is very small, and the image is real and inverted in this case. Okay, so if we place this distance is quite large, of course it is beyond 2f1. The distance is beyond 2f1 between lens and the object. So image formed will be real, inverted, and small in size. Now next one is that when object is at 2f1, exactly at 2f1. Now if we place here a lens, and this is a candle which is placed at the distance. Now look at here, the distance between the lens and object and lens and image are same. This means we are placing it object at exactly at 2f1. When we are placing this lens exactly in the middle of it, you will find that image formed will be real, inverted, as well as small in size. Okay, as you can see here, one ray of course is coming from the object AB. This will pass through the center, this will strike the surface and will pass through f1. Another from the optical center straightway, and at 2f2 the image will be formed. You will find that the size of the image will be exactly same as that of the object. Okay, but only difference is that a real and inverted image will be formed in this case. Okay, so this is another one. Students, one thing I would like to tell you, that all the distances which are measured here on the left hand side, they are negative in the sign convention. As you can see here, the distance between the object and optical center of the lens, that is minus u, that is u which is minus, right, whereas in this case this is h1 which is positive, h2 will be negative here. Now focus f will be positive, and it is always positive for convex lens. Okay, and this is a v which is formed here, which is also positive. So here in this case, the u is negative, whereas f is positive, and in most of the cases v is positive, but h2 is of course negative. So we have to be very careful while we will use numerical it for the numerical problems. Now next one is when object is placed between f1 and 2f1. Now look here, I have taken this candle very close to the lens so that the distance between them is reduced. Of course it is not less than f1, right? It is more than that of it, so that the image formed on the other side is bigger, real inverted and bigger in size. Okay, so this is real inverted and bigger in size because the image is formed beyond 2f2, which is real inverted and bigger in size. Of course rays will be passed in the same manner as we have discussed earlier. Now next position is when the object is placed at f1. Now it has a very significant role, students, that we use such a situation for the professional rifle hunting flashlight. Okay, for the hunting purpose flashlight is used, which gives the ray is placed at the source of light is placed at focus. After passing through this lens, convex lens, the rays will move parallel, right? And it is quite intense as well as it cover a large distance so as to find the prey, right? So this is used as a rifle hunting flashlight. Even army people use this rifle also. Now in this case the object is placed of course at f1. After passing through the lens, the rays will move parallel on the right hand side. Okay, so this is the fifth position. Let us go for the next sixth position, when the object is between f1 and optical center. Again this position is very important, where we use it for the magnifying glass. As you can see that words on the book, they are smaller in size as compared to looking through the convex lens. Okay, reason is that because we have placed this convex lens between optical center and focus, that is very near to that of the book, so that one ray which is going from the object, of course it is striking the surface and passing through f2. Another ray is passing through optical center. What we observe is that they are departing from each other, they are separating from each other with large distance. So that's why we will produce these rays. One ray is this which is passing through optical center, we will produce it back with the dotted line, and another ray which is passing through the f2, this is again produced back in the left hand side, that is it will meet here at a dash b dash on the left hand side. Okay, now in this case what you will find that u is negative, f is of course positive, v is also positive, h1 is positive, h2 is positive. So everything is positive except this u, which is negative in this case while using it for the numerical purpose. So these are all important diagrams for the convex lenses. Let us see for the concave lens, where we use what are the rules for concave lens. Of course they are almost same. When the ray of light is passing parallel to the surface of it, after striking this will be diverged out, okay, and pass it through f1 focus. Now here focus is negative in this case, pass it through f. Second is when the ray is focused toward the focus f2, after striking the surface this will move parallel to the surface of it. Okay, so you always keep in mind to draw these dotted lines. Next one is a ray of light which is passing through the optical center, will go undeviated. Let us use these rays for concave lens. First position we will take is that when object is placed at infinity. So when object is placed at infinity, like sun, the rays are coming from sun and they are parallel to the principal axis. After striking the middle surface to that of optical center, they will be diverged out. All the rays will be diverged out, and when you produce them back you will find that they are going to meet at f1. So meet these rays back at f1 with the dotted lines, so that the object is focus is at f1, that is negative. Second diagram, when the object is placed between infinity and optical center, we have another option is that we can place our object anywhere between optical center and infinity. Suppose we have placed it here, the object here. Now one ray is coming parallel to the principal axis. After striking the middle, this will be diverged out. Produce it back and join it with the focus. Second ray is passing through the optical center, produce it straightway. They'll cut each other at this point, so that the image A dash B dash will be formed here, which will be virtual erect as well as small in size, but very clear. Just like this professional camera photographer who is clicking the photograph of a child with dog, the image is quite small as compared to that of the object, that is child and this dog. So this is virtual erect as well as small in size, images like that. Now in this case, students, u will be, this is a u which is negative, f is negative, v is negative, h1 is positive, h2 is positive. Okay, so always keep in mind the sign convention while you are making them. So everything is because of divergence property, every type of image will be formed is on the left hand side. That is why focus is negative in this case of concave lens. Now let us see sign convention for spherical lenses. Sign convention is similar to that of spherical mirror, as we have discussed in earlier videos. They are just like that all distances which are on the left hand side, they'll be considered as negative, and all on the positive, on the right hand side will be positive. Above the axis will be positive, below the axis will be negative. So focal length of convex lens positive, whereas focal length of concave lens is negative. Now lens formula we are using here is different from spherical mirrors. Here it is 1 upon v minus 1 upon u is 1 upon f. Magnification m will be hi upon ho is equal to v upon u. So keep in mind the lens formula as well as magnification so as to find out numericals. Let us see some of the numericals based on it. First is find the position and nature of image of an object 5 cm high and 10 cm in front of a convex mirror or lens of focal length 6 cm. Of course h1 is 5 cm, u is negative, 10 cm focal length is f2, that is 6 cm. So when we will use the formula and put all the numerals, we will find that v is 15 cm. Of course you know that image is formed on the right hand side, so v will be on the right hand side with positive sign on the other side, and the image will be real and inverted on the other side. Next numerical is that an object 5 cm high is held 25 cm away from a converging lens of focal length 10 cm. Converging mean convex lens which has focal length 10 cm. Find position, size and nature of the image. Also draw ray diagram. This is a complete question, complete numerical for convex lens. Let us see how to do it. Of course h1 is 5 cm height of object, u is minus 25 cm, f is 10 cm on the right side. Lens formula is 1 by v minus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f. 1 by v minus 1 upon minus 25 is equal to 1 by 10. So 1 by v is equal to 1 by 10. So what we find is v is 16.6. So image is behind the convex lens. Now next thing is we have to find out, this is a position. This is a position, that image is 16.6 centimeter on the behind the convex lens on the right hand side. But what is left here is the size and nature of the image, which will be found by magnification, that as m is equal to v upon u. So what we have found is m with the help of m, h2 is there, that is minus 3.33 centimeter. Now this term will give us the other two parameter, that is size and nature. Minus height will show that it is real and inverted image, whereas 3 centimeter mean that it is the size of the image. Okay, that is 3.33 centimeter as compared to that of object. Now next is a ray diagram. So we can easily make the ray diagram where we have used all the parameters, that is 25 centimeter of object, and this is a focus, and this one after concluding all the things you can make a ray diagram of it. Okay, now next one is a concave lens has a focal length of 20 centimeter. At what distance from a lens 5 centimeter tall object be placed? So that's to form an image at 15 centimeter from the lens. Also calculate size of the image. So this time we have used concave lens. Focal length of course is negative in this case, and at what distance from the lens? A 5 centimeter tall object, h1 is 5 centimeter, and image formed, that is v is minus 15 centimeter, this since it is on the left hand side. So that's why we have used all the parameters like that. F is negative, V is negative. When we'll use the formula, we will find that U should also be negative, so it came out to be minus 60 centimeter after calculation. I hope you know about how to calculate this one. So U is minus 60 centimeter, so object should be placed 60 centimeter on the left hand side. Next is the nature and size of the image. We will use magnification formula. M is V upon U, that is H2 upon H1. Minus 15 by minus 60 is H2 by H1, so H2 is 1.25 centimeter. So image formed is 1.25 centimeter higher. So this is how they are calculated. These numericals of course will help you in finding out the exercise I am giving you. You can find out the numericals and take help of them. Power of a lens is the next topic, which is the reciprocal of the focal length in meter, students. So power mean how much the rays are diverged or converged. More the rays are converged or diverged, more will be the power of the lens. The spectacles you wear, they have a particular power. Okay, so how much the rays are diverged or converged, that only plays a role to make you see to see things clearer. So power P is equal to 1 upon F, but this F should be in meter. Okay, so its SI unit of power is also always diopter D. So D is a diopter, is a unit of it, right? Power of lens for the convex lens is always positive. Reason is that because focus is on the focal length is positive. That is why if focal length is positive, of course power would find out to be positive for it, but it should be in meter. And power of the concave lens is negative, right? So if you say that I have a number minus 4D of my spectacle, this means you are wearing concave lenses since they have a focal length in negative. So power will be equal to 1 upon focal length or thickness in meter. Sometime it can also be in centimeter. Mostly focal length is in centimeter as we found in the numericals. So what you can do, that power is equal to 100 upon F you can put there, and you can find out the power, or vice versa. Suppose focal length is, you have to find out focal length in centimeter, use again the formula P is equal to 100 upon F, and you can easily find out focal length in centimeter. Next one is the power of a lens combination. Suppose you are using various lenses, 3 or 4 lenses. Instead of using 3 or 4 lenses, if you want one lens only to use, you can use this formula to find out the power of it, that is P1 plus P2 plus P3. Next is numerical based on it. Let us see how to find out. Focal length of a convex lens is 25 centimeter. What is the power of it? So F is 25 centimeter. We have converted it to meter. Power is 1 upon F, and power found out to be plus 4D. Of course you can directly use the formula P is equal to 100 by F, that is 100 upon 25, that is equal to plus 4D. Another, a diverging lens, that is for the concave lens. Focal length is minus 3 centimeter. Right, calculate the power. Again minus 3 centimeter converted to meter, and power is found out to be minus 33.33D, or P is equal to 100 upon F can also be used, that is 100 upon 3. You can again find out this answer. Next is convex lens of power 5D and concave lens of power 7.5D are placed in contact. What is the power of their combination and focal length of this combination of lenses, right? So first power we have plus 5D since it's a convex lens, and second is a convex lens with power minus 7.5D. Power of combination formula we have used here, plus 5D plus minus 7.5D is minus 2.5D. Okay, so instead of using these two lenses, you can use concave lens of power 2.5D. Second is focal length of the combination. F is equal to 1 upon B is equal to 1 upon minus 2.5 you can use. So this came out to be minus 0.4 meter, that is multiplied with 100 you will find minus 40 centimeter. So this is how numericals are find out. Students, do not forget to write proper sign convention for concave and convex lenses, which I have already mentioned there. I am giving you number of questions here. Look here. These are all practice questions regarding this convex lens, convex, this is convex again, various convex, all convex lenses questions are there for you. And after that, of course, this is one for converging lens, convex lens again, for convex lens, for convex lens, diverging and converging both lenses are there. Convex lens again, now concave lenses are coming up here. Concave lens again, for 15 is a concave lens, concave. They are all practice questions, you must solve them so as to strengthen this topic, otherwise generally your marks are deducted in these topics. The next one is the power of a lens is there, then again all these questions are related to power up to 21. Okay, I hope they are enough for you to practice them. Okay, and do practice all of them. If you find any problem in them, you can write a query in the column in YouTube. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope there is a clarity in this topic. Do share, like and subscribe my videos always, and appreciate them. Thank you very much.